Global TV subscribe.
Global community, what's the deal with we own? Today I got a rabbit hole for us of TikTok, some non-biased media, non-mainstream media that's going to take us away from that indoctrination we got from the system growing up. Let's get to it. Globe in the chat. Let's get some like-minded ideology and it's going on.
That Michael Jackson saved me from getting on a plane to that tiny island.
So they're saying Neverland is where Michael Jackson took children to protect them from what was being done on Epstein's island. And because he was going against their regime, they punished him and they flipped the script and made it appear as if he was the one abusing them, when in reality they were abusing them and he was protecting the children, he was protecting the celebrities. And you have celebrities like Macaulay Culkin who have gone on record to protect and defend Michael Jackson. This all makes sense. It has finally come together. This man has been dead for so long, but now it's coming together. Not only did he protect the children from the physical things that were being done to them, and you know what I'm saying, you just social media, gotta be careful, but he also were protecting them from the social and emotional abuses that were occurring by advising Britney Spears to get out from under her dad before the conservatorship and things of that nature. This man was a lifesaver. Nonetheless, those of you who are like me, help me fact check this, because at the end of the day, I want to make sure this is right, but this is what I've been hearing up to this point, and it all makes sense.
Yeah, they try to destroy that man.
611 people. That is the number that was arrested yesterday for trafficking our children. All came about by accident, with a single tip that triggered a massive California human trafficking bust with some of the most despicable human beings known to mankind. But only 20 children were saved yesterday out of hundreds of thousands that go missing every year here in the United States of America. Out of the 611 people that were arrested yesterday, hundreds of them were identified as purchasers of these children. Many of them have been identified coming from as far away as Illinois, Oklahoma, and Missouri. The LAPD is quoted by saying that many of these children are put on the streets over there in Los Angeles, be victimized, and repeatedly over and over and over again, saying that many of these children just barely entered into their teens. Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hochman called the trafficking network a modern slavery, saying the county has become a major hub for that type of crime. Saying to go as far as that Los Angeles County is one of the epicenters of human sex trafficking in the entire nation. Of course, all under the guise of Governor Gavin Newsom. I said it before, and I will say it again. The only way for these people to stop attacking our children is to make the punishment so unbearable, go after new legislation and change these laws, that if you go after our children and you compromise and you hurt and you find a way to get away with taking one of them and you get caught, no discussions asked, that you have forfeited your own life. A life for a life. That's what I suggest, Mr. President. Someone that takes the heart and the soul of one of our children, the penalty for that crime, no questions asked, should be to remove them off the face of this earth.
I have no problem with that ideology, that narrative and perspective at all. We have a serious problem in this nation, in this world, but in this nation of the predatory acts that are being done to our children. What is going on? Too much nefarious activity.
Arrests that we've had here. He is a backgrounder for ICE, Homeland Security, and federal agencies. So when you're getting your security clearance, this is one of the guys that does your backgrounds, which is kind of scary. So we locked him up, and I think if you're going to be, these people get access, they get a high security clearance, right? Because again, for all the ICE agents, Homeland Security agents, and people getting security clearance, this is one of the people that does the backgrounds. and you come here trying to purchase sex. We locked him up. I don't think he's going to be passing a background check no time soon.
I think it's really telling when we're talking about the Epstein files that we remember that there's multiple interviews of Jeffrey Epstein talking about Jesus, except for he can't really say the name. Have you noticed that? He can't really say the name. He only ever refers to him as like a carpenter or the carpenter or like that. Which, by the way, is explicitly demonic, because demons can't really say the name. They have to call him the carpenter, and they do that, one, to try and mock him, to make it seem like, oh, he was just a carpenter type thing. I mean, Jeffrey Epstein literally did that in an interview where he was talking about philosophers, and the interviewer mentioned Jesus, and he went, I thought he was a carpenter. Not interested in talking about that. Yeah, probably because you worship Baal, dude. I can't believe that... I'm still trying to struggle to comprehend that we have, like, documented proof of child sacrifice of the elites. That's insane. I can't believe I made fun of conspiracy theorists.
Anybody seen Silence of the Lambs? The late, great Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal Lecter. Did anybody ever hear of Hannibal Lecter? The young people didn't. Hannibal Lecter. Dr. Hannibal Lecter. The late, great Hannibal Lecter. He's a wonderful man. He oftentimes would have a friend for dinner. The late, great Hannibal Lecter would like to have you for dinner. He would love to have you for dinner. He will take you. He wants you for dinner. That's the end of you, by the way. He'd love to have you for dinner, you right there. Don't do it. If he suggests, I'd like to have you for dinner, don't go. They say, why does he keep mentioning him? Because Hannibal Lecter was a serious psycho. He was a slightly troubled patient. He mentions Hannibal Lecter. It doesn't make sense. No, it makes a lot of sense. They're coming into our country. And I say, the late, great Hannibal Lecter. Oh, he likes Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal Lecter, how great an actor was he? You know why I like him? Because he said on television, on one of the, I love Donald Trump. So I'm
not gonna lie, with all the current events going on and the recent findings, that was strange as hell. I wish I could say that was AI.
I'm just trying to put y'all on if y'all into that.
I now have undeniable proof that we are sharing this planet with a non-human race. This isn't clickbait.
Of course.
I'll show you how you can see them as well. I urge everyone to go out and get one of these. If you missed my last video, I went down to the BBC and everyone there showed up the same.
Donald Trump did too.
Except the two guards outside, proving they are not human. Today, I went down to Buckingham Palace in London. Again, same thing. As I'm walking down, I'm filming, everything's showing normal. I filmed the guards outside of the palace. Exactly the same thing. No heat whatsoever. You can see right behind them, there is heat coming from the buildings, it's showing orange. But even when they're walking, how do you explain that? Again, I don't know whether they're reptilian, vampires, I don't know. I don't claim to know what they are. But what I would recommend is that everyone buys one of these things. And as I said, this is not clickbait. I've not amended the pictures. I've not adjusted the video in any way. This is exactly what I filmed today at Buckingham Palace. And anyone can replicate this themselves. So if you can, go out and buy one of these things and see it for yourself.
Global community, we will be purchasing one of these. Definitely. Big homie CC suggested that also. We're going to put some proof to some of these claims. Or not.
Anyone tell me why all of these celebrities were seen wearing boots that were concealing an ankle monitor? Why would they do that? If their right ankle is broken, why would you see them the next day wearing the boot on their left leg? Doesn't make any sense. Unless they were forced to do this as a part of an optics operation to tell the public indirectly that they had been captured and they had to capitulate to whatever organization had caught them for the crimes that they committed. And they had to wear these ankle monitors that would follow them everywhere they went until they eventually got sent to a prison over maybe in Guatemala. So I think that I am finally able to talk about this now. Whenever I did post about this before, it would get taken down. But this is called the Q boot. There's a whole diagram showing exactly what it is. But all these actors, these people who were involved in Pizzagate had to wear this way back in 2020 and before that when they got caught for the crimes that they committed, so they had to wear this to conceal an ankle monitor so it wouldn't ruin their reputation, it wouldn't make the whole population of the world go crazy, and it would just keep things the same as they always were for a few years until over time people were able to learn the truth and not kill themselves basically over the horrifying things that they found. It had to be a slow, gradual process. If it wasn't like this, people would have been going, the population just would not have been able to survive hearing about the Epstein files way back in 2020 or before that. It had to be 2026. Otherwise, people wouldn't have been able to handle it. And I mean, it's literally every celebrity, and if you dig deep enough, you'll find in the Epstein files that most of these people have been mentioned in there, and they all had to wear these boots to track them wherever they went. And also,
now, I'm going to be honest, that is extremely strange, and coincidences don't exist. I'm not sure if I agree with the whole narrative, because there still has to be legislation and somebody will be able to look that up, I'm sure. But that is strange.
You do know that reptilians and Draco, the blood sacrifices, the whole Luciferian thing, the kids being killed and eaten, I mean, that humans have been eaten and taken off planet, et cetera, and used for slaves in other colonies, etc.
I hate to say that, but that's far worse than what you've just said.
It's far worse.
Yes, far worse.
Far worse, yeah.
And that the whole blood situation it's unbelievable. And
right.
I don't know how we say that to the public. I don't know how. But wait a minute, just a second. On that part of this whole subject, to me, if we get into that, and I know all about it,
all right,
far more than.
Sure,
all right,
I'm sure.
When we get into that, if we release it, 70-80% of everybody that listens to your program is going to say, you're smoking pot. I don't believe that, and I don't believe anything you people talk about on extraterrestrial. And it's going to kill what disclosure is trying to do. That's my opinion.
The pedophilia is starting to be exposed everywhere. You know that much.
Yeah, but you know the part that I don't want to talk about.
I hear you.
Okay.
Balls to the wall.
I should let you know I don't believe in devil or this. I just believe in negative vibrations and positive vibrations.
Again, let's talk about this with Little Nas X. Oh, look at the face. I love your face. You're so expressive. You cannot hide.
I can. It's a really big problem. I'm working on it in my
But no,
marriage.
don't ever change.
Jimmy, what is wrong? What's happening with him?
He didn't seem like he was on drugs. He seemed pretty clear-headed. Okay, you're saying, but also on the easiest level, it was a straight-up con to promote an album.
True.
On the worst level,
it was a drug reaction.
In the middle, it was a drug. On the worst, his programming broke. If you know what that means.
Oh.
Are you with me on that?
I'm with you on it.
Because
the programming broke.
We can go for many people. I can give you 4 examples of people that have freaked out through the years in the valley. In the valley. What happened? There's people that have broke in the valley. So here where you go with your little positive, I'm about vibrations in Toluca Lake, and let's go to Bob's Big Boy, and everything is good. And there you go. Look at Kenny right now. Kenny's here, and now she don't want to speak on it. But you know, something happened.
Watch his ear.
Martin Lawrence, couple people in that valley. Facts are stranger than fiction.
Okay, I'm gonna track it. Look at his face. There's 2 faces there. There's a face behind a face. Quit moving. I don't know what's going on here. But watch. Look.
Well, let's take a quick look at Stephen Hawking. I've talked to
here. But watch. Look.
Well, let's take a quick look at Stephen Hawking. I've talked a lot about how Stephen Hawking was not a real person. He was a character. And people say, how dare you, Big Bear? How dare you? When Dave Chappelle makes fun of it in 5 years, we'll discuss it. But this is an actual translation. Before his robot voice, he had a translator who looks exactly like Larry Bird. Tell me if you think that anything about this is real.
I think, in a way, physics has been a progress away from mysticism towards a rational understanding of the universe.
Stephen, when did you first realize you wanted to be a physicist?
I think I knew from about the age of 9 or 10 that I wanted to be a scientist. Most of my activities, like playing with model fireworks, or model railways, or playing complicated games, was aimed in some way at finding out how the world worked around me. I was never very good with my hands, and my models did not work very well.
Okay, guys, we can all see that this is not real at all. It was normalized by Han Solo.
How is he obtaining all of those sentences from that mumbling? I'm highly confused.
Hollywood tells the truth.
We are a nation under attack from within.
Cell phone users, beware. The Federal Bureau of Investigation can now hear everything you're saying, even when your cell phone is turned off. Authorities can now activate the microphone inside your phone, allowing them to eavesdrop on you and your conversations. Experts say the only way around this is to take the battery out of the device.
Then I realized the more fulfilling challenge was to work to stop the people who violated our privacy and stole from our personal data.
We are a nation under attack from within.
When Hollywood tells the truth.
People, we're in danger of losing our funding. America isn't interested in space exploration anymore.
Maybe we should finally tell them the big secret.
What's the secret? There are so many.
Ain't no space.
Is it a coincidence Disney owns The Simpsons? The Simpsons showed Bezos and his wife would go to space. They took other famous people. Did they do it for the science or the ratings?
Sir, the TV ratings for the launch are the highest in 10 years.
Yay! And how's this spacecraft doing?
I don't know. All this equipment is just used to measure TV ratings.
They always tell and show us in their own way with symbolism. Watch the countdown at precisely 33 to 33 they start to ring the bell. What do you think about their timing, their symbolism? Does it all mean something, or is it just coincidence?
CERN aims to break open portals to Saturn and the underworld so that demons can break into our realm and cause havoc. Max Spears claimed that CERN is continuing the work that Aleister Crowley began in the 1920s to open interdimensional vortexes which would allow demons who have been locked away for a long time to enter our reality and create, quote, hell on earth. Spears mysteriously died not long after publicizing this. This sounds wild until you read Everything You Need to Know by David Icke, where he describes how the area where CERN is located was historically once believed to be a gateway to the underworld, an area dedicated by the Romans to the demonic god Apollyon, the destroyer. The biblical book of Revelation describes Apollyon as the ruler of the abyss, predicting its opening to release a horde of demonic locusts. Interestingly, Icke equates Apollyon to Asia's Shiva, whose statue is coincidentally located at CERN itself. CERN director Sergio Bertolucci himself stated that the Hadron Collider could uncover a portal to facilitate travel between our realm and another dimension. American researcher Anthony Patch claims the LHC replicates the phenomena observed at Saturn's poles, specifically the hexagon storm at the northern pole and the eye storm area at the southern pole, implying that both operate on the same frequencies, potentially forming a wormhole between the two. In the Saturn myth, David Talbot draws on various ancient myths depicting the same idea of a sort of cosmic stargate to Saturn, which was formed when Saturn, Venus, and Mars made a specific celestial alignment, during which the gods could travel back and forth from Saturn to Earth. Shiva is also coincidentally associated with Saturn. Interestingly, Icke also points out how CERN's logo is encoded with 666, which is identified as, quote, the number associated with Saturn and representing the Saturn matrix frequency. Follow me for more hidden knowledge.
So I saw his whole face vibrate, bro. I swear to God, on everything I fucking love and everything I know, his face vibrated like throwing a rock in water and seeing ripples. The ripple, it had ripples in his face. I guess he couldn't control his skin suit anymore. And then his eyes flashed yellow. I saw his eyes flash like a snake. You know how snakes got the reptilian eyes and shit? Yes, bro, his eyes flashed yellow like that. And I knew he couldn't control his skin suit because he had to be at a certain frequency and a certain vibration and have a certain mental capacity to keep his skin suit under control. And I saw him turn to a reptilian in my fucking face.
We are the first species on the face of this earth to be aware of evolution, to be aware that we are affecting our own evolution by everything that you have to believe me.
If you do not believe that people have special abilities, mutations, and powers, then please turn around right now, because this small section of this declassified document will change your life forever. The metagene. The metagene is a biological variant lying dormant in select members of the human race until an instant of extraordinary physical and emotional overstress activates it. An energetic chemical is released in response to adverse stimulation. A chromosomal combustion takes place as the metagene takes the source of biostress, be it chemical, radioactive, or whatever, and turns the potential energo response into a catalyst for genetic change. The main focus of the catalyst power is a giant gland in the middle of the human brain called the pineal gland, and the nutrient for increasing the pineal's action is the adrenaline. The metagene factor gives the ability of psionic power. The main interest of the aliens, especially the Greys, is to understand and control the metagene for their own race. They try to do this using biological experiments to make hybrids from both humans and aliens. They believe perhaps the men from the planet Earth are the deadliest creatures in the universe, because only on Earth people are apparently capable of generating the metagene factor, which means natural psionics ability, which is real power. The principal races in the universe are physiologically the same. The pure, cold logic is a normal order to most important races. Basic sameness makes for predictability and security. The enemy one knows are the ones you can guard against. This is not the case with mankind. While most are uniformly human, some, many more, apparently than anyone had dreamed, possessed a latent tendency towards superhumanity, natural psionic abilities. That in itself could prove dangerous for any idea of alien domination on Earth. But couple of mankind's inherent belligerence with the fact of the metagene effects, each human is unique and Earth becomes a spawning ground for a unpredictable super race if we have the chance. Others have already demonstrated an awareness of man's potential along with the human history. Nordics treat this. This is because the aliens are here to control the Earthlings before we dominate them. And they want our most important secret, the metagene factor, which is the aliens' only hope. And I find this so funny because there are two comic book universes, Marvel Comics Universe and DC Comics Universe. Marvel calls it the X gene and it's responsible for the mutants. And in the DC universe, they call it the metagene. And it's responsible for some of the characters like Static Shock. Now, it's funny how the DC Comics fan page website also mentions the metagene in the exact same way. And would you like to know what it says? A metahuman is a human being who has a metagene, a genetic mutation being on par with mutants in the Marvel universe, and post-humans and gene active in the Wildstorm universe, which when activated can give them superhuman powers. The activation can occur through different methods, including high levels of physical trauma, chemistry, and magic. The term metahuman was first coined by the alien dominators, and it has been used to describe any human being with what are commonly described as superpowers. And I mean, that's the same thing that I just read to you in that top secret declassified document. So do you still want to believe that there aren't extraordinary people walking amongst us? The declassified document says the same thing as an online created comic books fan. I mean, they put this stuff right in front of us all the time. Now, let's try to figure out how we're going to activate these powers, y'all.
That's Diane.
The key, the way to activation, in my opinion, would to be to leave your job, leave all of these things in the civilization and this system, and be able to focus like our ancestors on the spiritual awakening of things, being able to tap into what your skills are and hone on them. That's what they used to be able to do. Imagine if you had more time and didn't have to focus on keeping a roof over your head, finding a way to buy food and all the other nonsense that usually would, that historically would come free to us from nature.
Had her accident. She said to a close friend that the royal family are not human, but they are reptiles from the Alpha Draconis star system. Hello, what? Okay, I had to look that up, okay? It's in the shape of a lizard. I don't know what the heck that means. I don't know anymore. This is my driver, and they're weirdly related to Vlad the Impaler, who is a vampire, and reptiles are known cannibals. So that's interesting. Here we go.
Archaeological discovery in Egypt unearthed the figure of a pharaoh with reptilian features. The figure with a leathery surface suggests it's not a statue, but a real being reported to be 9 foot with an injury under its left armpit. Maybe its cause of death. It wasn't mummified. Instead, it was buried unmarked in the Valley of the Kings, Egypt.
Yo, what even is going on? I took off one day, and I come back to all this crazy, satanic even stuff. We'll get back to the satanic commercial that they put on the news in 1 minute, because what they're actually doing will scare the crap out of you. That is, if you're not protected. So Macron here has a eye, but it gets a lot crazier than just the picture you saw at the beginning, because one, geopolitically wise, but also after people were aware of his eye looking like that, he started wearing sunglasses to hide it later on. So why is he if he just got hurt, you know, like there was an incident, then why would he be covering it up with sunglasses? This is not 2010, where you could walk up with very obvious sinister things happening and no one would know about it. Unrelated, I wonder what got in his eye. And geopolitically, it's crazy because there's a Norvis Ordo Seclorum going on. We just heard about Putin saying that he might nuke Europe, and then this right here happens. People like to point out particular eyes, but I'm telling you, it makes no difference. Obviously, he's got hurt. Then this commercial, this news station, showed a satanic broadcast in the middle of this. Now, I'm gonna tell you just how crazy that is and why. This does not happen by accident. They, the news, had the feed for this. You can't just pick up someone's feed. This isn't a radio. Say I'm reaching, but it's an obvious fact that this was displayed on purpose. If you're a Christian and you know how powerful the name Jesus is, then you have no problem. That is, if you call on it. And with the information I'm about to put out in the next day or two, everything is going to get wildly different. So it's very important to remember that fact I just said.
Without a doubt, it is a spiritual war going on. Let me know how y'all feel about that. You know, I'm going to be bringing these compilations to y'all twice a day, keeping y'all updated on everything that's going on. Stuff the mainstream media will not show you. We're going to keep going down these rabbit holes as a collective. We're going to figure everything out. One person will never know everything. That being said, all money ain't good money. Slow motion better than no motion. I am Cash, capital K, $ for the S.
Cash Global TV subscribe.